Hi, and welcome. This is Professor Nugent. I'm going to be your instructor for BUS441 Business Strategy. This is the online course, so I'm taking the time to go over the syllabus and the course and how the online assignments will work and the overall concept of how to complete the course. Now, this is an asynchronous course, meaning that there's no set time where we're going to get together as a group online or through Skype or SB Connect or some kind of tool like that. You're going to work at your own pace. So I will put everything up here on Blackboard in the homework manager for you to complete, and then you complete it on your time. You just have to make sure that you're done before the deadline of each of the assignments. Okay, so let's take a quick spin on the Blackboard. So this is the Blackboard for the site. The first page you'll come across is announcements when you log in. And the first thing I put up on announcements is the textbook. So I have the information for the textbook here because you should procure the textbook early before the class starts, because things going to happen. The pacing is going to be rather quick. So you can't, first day of the class starts, decide to order the textbook and it takes 10 days to get to you. By that point, you would have fallen way behind in the coursework. Now, there are two ways that I suggest buying the textbook. You could buy it from the campus bookstore, or you can buy it directly online. And if you buy it online, it's an online text with the My Management Lab access code. So together, the My Management Lab and the e-text will be $86 if you purchase it from their website. And I have put the link here if you want to look at that particular offer. And if you're not one who likes an online textbook, you can go to the campus bookstore and buy the physical book, which should also come with the homework management access code card, which is what you're going to need for this course. And I've put right below the textbook the homework manager instructions, how to register for the BUS 441 homework manager site. And in these instructions for the homework manager, we have the course ID, which is step 3, and that course ID is what links your account to my class. And if you follow, there's 6 steps here to setting up the homework manager. Once the homework manager is set up, it's going to look something like this. And I'll get back to this in a moment, though. Okay, so that's the announcements page. Let's now look, just going in order of the menu path at the documents. In the documents tab, I am going to have the course syllabus, the PowerPoints for the course. So I have all the PowerPoints backed up, which are the basis of my video lectures. And there's a folder for video lectures as well. So the video lectures are going to be hosted by YouTube. And as the class progresses, I'll be recording the video lectures that go along with each chapter in the book and posting them here on the video lecture folder. And I will coordinate that with the PowerPoints in this folder. I suggest that everyone take the time to look over the syllabus for the course and read it thoroughly before the course begins. Now, like I said, this is an asynchronous class, so you kind of work at any time of the day that you're most comfortable. If you want to work at 3 a.m. or maybe you're in a different country, in a different time zone, whatever is best for you, there's no time where we're synchronously all getting together at any particular point. We're not doing that. So it's just asynchronous. You kind of work on your time schedule. Now, the course description, and basically this course is about how businesses strategize to improve profits, the strategies businesses employ to analyze their results, improve their results, to create innovation, to make their company have better competitive advantages to their industry or their competitors. And we're really looking at how success is measured in a business, what businesses do, identifying and analyzing factors that are critical to the success of a business, and learning some basic analytical tools like a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and different concepts like that to get us to better understand business and how business competes to maintain their strategic stronghold on their products or their industry or their market share. So that's the basis of the class. And this class is really meant to tie together, bring in elements of marketing and accounting and finance and operations to show you how a company works together to solve problems and find opportunities and prosper. So how are we going to achieve these learning goals? Well, the textbook is number one. It's a very important tool that we're going to cover the entire 11 chapters of the textbook that, as far as material of strategic management, and the other half of the textbook is a compilation of cases, and some of the cases we'll be using as well. The second is the homework manager, is where I'm going to organize video cases, quizzes, and small simulations that are all going to take place in the Pearson homework manager, which I talked about earlier. And third, I'm going to use the discussion boards on Blackboard to post and utilize case studies of real-world examples of strategy for us to discuss as a class. Okay, so the class time is basically going to be covered. It's going to be the coverage of the information in the textbook, so I'll post video lectures for that. Discussion of case studies, maybe some current events, and I'll use the discussion boards to facilitate that. So it'll be a pretty unique experience. Okay, again, in the syllabus here we have the textbook and the instructions for the homework manager. Now, the assignments will be, most of the assignments will be in the homework manager. Some assignments will be on Blackboard. Now, don't get confused. Sometimes the homework manager has many different websites. It's My Management Lab, could be Pearson Lab and Mastering.com. They have a couple different sites, but any of those sites you log into all direct you to one website where you can log in for the homework manager. And I'll go over that more in a second. Okay, so the grades. The chapter homeworks from the homework manager are going to be 32%. The quizzes, also posted on the homework manager, will be 55%. The case studies will be 13%, and the total class will be 100%. And I will put all the grades will be maintained in the homework manager gradebook. So at some point, I will update the discussion board grades on the homework manager as well. And the homework manager will produce a percentage for you of your score, and this is where this chart here will show you how the percentage translates into a letter grade. Okay. I've also, so this class is going to have 11 quizzes, one quiz for every chapter. There are no final exam, midterms, things like that. It's just going to be quizzes that as you move along with the course, you'll take the quiz. So rather than having two really big tests, I've broken it up to make it smaller pieces. And the test will be based solely on the textbook and the class lectures. Participation is going to be measured on the class discussion board. So your participation grade for this class is all wrapped up in the discussion board and the online discussion case studies. And that I'm going to go over separately when we go to that tab in a minute. I've also in the syllabus listed a course schedule and the chapters we're covering by week and the to-do list. And typically how the to-do list works is you watch if you're wondering like, what am I going to do on a weekly basis for the class? Well, step 1, read the textbook chapters. Step 2, watch the chapter lectures that I'm going to produce and post. Step 3, find the case study discussion board for the week and reply and participate. Step 4, complete the chapter homework and quizzes on the Pearson homework manager. So that's basically it. 4 things: read chapter, watch lecture, complete the discussion board case, and do the homework and quizzes in the homework manager. So each week I've listed the chapters we're working on and a to-do list of the cases and homeworks that we'll be working on. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the syllabus, pretty standard syllabus. So let's move on to the assignments tab. Okay, so in the assignments tab, we have 2 areas of assignments. One is the discussion board, which is going to be 80 points. Everything is going to be average to give you a percentage, but I'm working off a point scale where the discussion board is 80 points, but that's going to constitute 13% of your grade. Now, each of the discussion boards are going to be set up in 2 parts for each week, and I'm going to discuss that in a minute. Then also down here I have directions again you'll see these in the syllabus and also on the announcements page for the homework manager. Let's go to the homework manager real quick just to go over that. So when you set up your My Management Lab homework manager through Pearson, which you should, when you buy the textbook, make sure you're buying the online edition with the access card or the hard copy edition from the bookstore with the access card, and you register for the Pearson Lab. You may already have an account from a previous course, or you may be new. Either way, it's pretty quick and simple to register. And if you have a used copy of the textbook, you can pay separately just for the homework manager if you don't only need the homework manager and not the textbook. Okay, so when you come into the homework manager, and you'll see it'll say Strategic Management Nugent. That's how you know once you put in our access code, it'll connect you to my site. Click on Assignments, and everything is managed through here on Assignments. And the assignments are grouped in order of date, so you know when things are due. And so you start at the top, and you recognize that the first thing that's going to be due, here's the first assignment, and the little H means a homework, and it's due on May 28th at 11:59 p.m. And that's going to be Chapter 1 video exercise. So you watch a video, and you answer some questions about the video. It's a short and fun type of homework. And Chapter 1, there's a small simulation homework. This is not a very complicated simulation. It's sort of like they ask you questions and you kind of pick what answer you want to go with and the story unfolds. It's sort of a unique type of experiential learning assignment, and it's fun. And then the second video exercise on Netflix. And then we have the quiz for Chapter 1 and the quiz for Chapter 2. And that would be, and you'll see here some things are due on the 28th, 29th, and the 30th, and the 31st. So things are spaced out. Make sure that if you're going to be away for a couple of days or you're not going to be able to get onto Blackboard for a couple of days, that you go and do the homework ahead of time. So that way, if there's a few days where you're not able to have access, you've already gone ahead and worked up early to make sure that you could be away from the computer from a day or two without missing any assignments. So it's up to you. There's a lot of assignments. These are all sort of bite-sized assignments. The quizzes are probably the longest assignment. But you would want to, like I say, manage your time and your schedule for these assignments, because there's going to be a lot of little assignments. You know, some of them you can knock out 2 or 3 of them within an hour pretty easily. So just make sure you don't miss any of them, because that's going to really hurt your grade. Now, the quiz is kind of simple. You click on the quiz, and a box will open up, and you say, yes, you're ready to start. And it'll come up with the questions. Quizzes are usually around 20 questions, give or take a few questions. And these come, straight from the textbook. So you just click on what you think the answer is, and then you can go to the next question. And then you can even go back to the previous question if you want to change it. And so, again, you just go through the quiz and answering all the questions until you get to the end. And then there will be a Submit Quiz button. And the question is generally straightforward, and it's mostly from the reading of the textbook. And then when you're done, you submit the quiz, and then you get your results for the quiz. Although the actual results, you should get a score, but the actual questions of what you got right or wrong won't post until everyone's completed the quiz the next day. So you just wait a day or so, you can go back in if you want to investigate what you got right or wrong. So the quizzes are pretty straightforward and easy to do, easy to follow. And the tool, this homework manager makes a great tool for working on the quizzes. Okay, so you could see that we run through all 11 chapters, and there's about 30 separate assignments. And again, most of them are quick and small. It's the quizzes that'll take you a little bit longer time to complete, but a lot of them are watching a video and just something to get to be a little bit more interactive than a typical homework assignment. Okay, and that's all you need to know for the homework manager. And then on the homework manager, this is my site, but you'll have a button where you could view your grade book, and as you complete the homeworks, the information will be placed in the grade book, and a percentage of your grade in the class will constantly be updated as you complete new assignments. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. So let's go back to the discussion, to the Blackboard, and talk about the discussion board questions. Okay, now, so we're going to go to the discussion menu path, and in this menu path you'll see that the first discussion board is going to be use this forum to ask questions about the class. This is just a general discussion board that if you have a question about the class, for example, you would just click here, create a forum. And generally, whenever we create a forum, it's good just to put your name as the subject, so it's easier for me to know what student I'm working with here. And then you write in your question. and then click submit. Okay, so then when I come in, I'll see your posts, and I'll click on your post, and hit reply, and I'll say, I'll see the homework manager as a response, and I'll submit a response. Okay, simple as that. So let's go back to, so that's just if you have questions of the course, that something that all students are going to ask, and this way I can answer it once, and you so go to the discussion board. Sort of develops like a frequently asked question place that you could quickly look if you have questions about certain things. If it's more private in nature, you can certainly always email me at any time. Now, let's look at the other forms. Okay, so week 1, the first case is the LinkedIn case, and it's LinkedIn part 1 and part 2. So each week, the discussion question will be broken up into 2 parts, except for the last, on week 6, the last week, the Netflix only has 1 post. And so in this case, first thing you will do is download, click on the LinkedIn PDF, and the case study will appear. Some of the case studies are from your textbook, and some of them I've actually posted a document that you'll read over that's a little bit more current, a little bit more interesting than some of the textbook cases. So you read the document, and then I ask questions here. So, you know, here are a couple of questions, and you would, again, click on the discussion board. And for each student, you need to create a thread. So there's already 2 threads, John Doe, and John Doe LinkedIn. So I'm going to create a new thread. Let's see here. I'm going to say this is from Cindy Jones, and she's going to write her original response to the question. So she's going to type out anywhere between 100 and 150 words, answering the questions as best she can, using information from the articles or her personal experiences, or maybe some other different research she's done. And then she's going to click on submit. Okay, so now we have, so as a student, you come in and first you set up your original post from the questions, and then I want you to respond to at least 2 other students. You click on another student, see what they have written, and then click reply to their post, and then type out a reply to them. You may want to ask them a question, or just comment on something they wrote, or add a little piece of information. Something to show that you read their posts, and you can also rate their posts from 0 to 5 stars, and that's a good thing to do, just so you get an idea. And I'll be rating the post as well, so just some feedback. So when you reply, you're replying to another student's thread, and when you're answering the original questions, you're creating your own thread. So pretty self-explanatory. So once you finish part 1, you go back, there's this little OK arrow back, and then you could work on part 2 of the LinkedIn case. And right down here, please post your original posts on Monday or Tuesday, so that's your original answering of the questions. And then Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, come back and leave some replies to some other students. And that's how we create sort of a classroom discussion, but online. So think of a classroom discussion. We're all sitting around. I bring up a topic. I ask a question. One student provides an answer. Another student builds upon that. We have, a class discussion. And that's what this discussion board is trying to replicate. So, and I clearly state what is required and the dates that the discussion board will be open. So there's a limited time that the discussion board is actually open, and then it closes, and you won't be able to post to it. So you want to make sure that you meet those deadlines to earn the points each week for the discussion boards. So the first one is LinkedIn. The next week we're going to talk about Uber, and then Under Armour. And that's actually Under Armour's case 20 from the textbook. So you read the case from the textbook, and then I actually have a video, an article to watch that's related to the question, the discussion questions for the week on Under Armour. And then we have Dollar General, which is the case from the book, and Tesla Motors, which is the case from the book, but also a PDF. Some Yeah, a lot of these cases from the books I also supplement with a more current PDF to kind of liven up the discussion board on more updated topics. And here last week when we're discussing international strategy, I have a case on Netflix expansion into France, where you could read the case from the textbook. So when you're crafting your replies, I want to see, if there's information from the case in the textbook, it'd be nice to see that. Information from the articles, and just making a really generous reply. And when I say, think of it, if you want to make sure you get the full points for this, probably the most surest way is on your original post to be generous in your responses. If I feel like you're taking a shortcut, or you're really not fully answering the question, the minimum may be 150 words, but you can go much further than that. And I want to see effort here. So the more effort you put in the discussion board, the easier it is for me to give you the full points for each of these. And I also, I'm asking for one original post, of course, for every discussion board to answer the questions. But the replies, you can reply more than twice. But there should be two replies of some significance. There could be other replies later on where you wanted to leave a comment that was a sentence or a couple of words, and that's fine too. So I'll look at all your replies as long as I see two significant ones. But however, I might see one significant one and one reply that's not so great, but I'll take into account that you made several other replies and kept active in the participation of the discussion board during the week when I'm doing your final grade. So the more participation, the better, and the more generous you are and the more thorough you are answering each of the case study questions, the better as well. Okay. And and that's about it for the class. So you can actually, going to open up this Blackboard early. So if you want to come in and start working on the week 1 class discussions, your original posts, feel free to look around, start to order the textbook, set up the homework manager. You can work early if you want to start working now on some of the homework problems and questions and quizzes. You can get a head start, especially if, I know it's summer, some people may take a few days off. If you're going to take, more than 2 or 3 days away from the computer, please work ahead to complete all your assignments, so that way, and you can send me a short email just saying I'm going to be away from, I'm going to be traveling these couple days. I'll be away from the computer. Won't be able to respond to you, just so I know that you're heading away somewhere for a little while. And that's it. So I try to keep the class very straightforward, very organized, so you have a good understanding of what is expected of you, and you have a really easy time completing this class and getting all the relevant information that you need to do well. And I'm looking for everyone to do very well in this class. I have no problem giving everyone an A if everyone earns it, but you have to put the work in, and you have to be diligent to complete things on time, and you know how that goes. So that's it. I'm looking forward to this class starting soon, and take care.